Sicko Boy, aka Hit the Stage. How you what?
Man, chilling out, man. How you feeling today?
I'm good. I appreciate you coming through because, like I said, I see you all the time, but we don't really know each other. And we
Absolutely.
collabed on that one event that I fucked up and
No.
wasn't even there.
No, I appreciate you for throwing
Yeah.
alley-oop, man, because they needed it, bro.
But seeing what you do, I mean, objectively, you're probably the biggest platform for artists to get their music seen. You're like the on the radar of Indianapolis.
Yeah, I
you know what I'm
appreciate
saying?
that,
And
man.
other cities,
I
because I want to
appreciate that.
talk about that too. But I've seen your grind and the consistency of it, and I know artists that have worked with you, and it's all good things.
No, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of know your story, know what's going on, know what's good for next year. Where you're planning to take it, because you got like a movement going on with the Hit the Stage.
Trying my best, man. But hey, now I appreciate the flyers, man. You've been definitely doing your thing as well. But now, where would you like to start the journey?
So just because I don't really know you that well, just run me through the story in your own words of how you got to be the biggest platform now for artists in Indianapolis.
Absolutely. So, man, with me, I've been a aspiring rapper just to start off for a long time since I was a child. And one of my biggest problems was budget. I never really had the finances to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do coming from, my background and my history. So I was real hungry, I'm saying, up until the age of about 16. And I created, a name for myself as far as the Sicko Boy name. That's when I established that name pretty young. And at first it was for me. It was for being a rapper. And that journey took me to, learning a lot of things because I couldn't afford to pay for the things I wanted. So I ended up having to, learn how to shoot my own videos and learn how to record my own, studio sessions, etc. And that ended up turning into skill sets that, would inevitably get me paid. So started off doing, freelance videography work and studio sessions. And one day I seen a platform, and this was back when Boss Man D-Lo, he first was getting hot. And when I seen it, it was creeping through the streets. And this was when he did his first like big blow song. And I seen it. I had followed him on Apple Music. I followed him on YouTube. I went to all his platforms, and just seeing how that type of platform made me as a consumer go learn about him further. I was like, man, if we had something like this for the city, like this would be the answer in my opinion. You know what I'm saying, at the time. So I had tried it out, man. I had about $250 in my pocket at the time. And I was, just like on a limb with it. I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and, design this flyer. Oh,
Yeah, let me raise it. Yeah.
let me go. Okay, let's see.
That middle joint.
Let's tighten that bad boy up. Now we got directional mics. That should be pretty good.
Yeah.
Unless she's screaming. And if she's screaming, I say just try to walk away.
No, it's all good. Because you already know you probably already know from having those experiences, learning, making your own content.
Nah, most definitely.
I'm sure things have went wrong multiple times.
Behind the scenes, you gotta know it.
Yeah, like even with the podcast, there are times the audio will be messed up, the video will be messed up. Anything that can happen will happen when you're doing it independent like that. So you were getting to where you first made the platform because you saw at that time, whether it's Boss Man D-Lo or the Mexican OT, a lot of them literally got their whole career started off of like the hanging mic platforms.
Most definitely.
Whether it's there's a handful of them.
That's when I seen it. That's what I was thinking. Like, man, if we could really have a blow off of this platform, because I'm thinking it was gonna be within 2024, and I was thinking we're gonna have some type of big success. And like I said, I created that flyer mock-up on Canva, and I sent it over to my graphic designer. He like, shoot me $50. I got you. Shout out to King, man. And
King Too Crispy?
No, not King Too Crispy. It's I Am King Official. I'm gonna send it to you so you can tag it up there. But he's like one of the greatest graphic designers in the city, man. Actually, it's I Am Greatest Graphics, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man. He sent me that back over in about 2 hours. Sent him the $50, and I was excited with what I seen. I created the step and repeat backdrop for it, and I sent it to this down south in Indianapolis. It's called SameDayFlyers.net. Had a 24-hour, backdrop made, and man, when I did it, I was already prepared. I had borrowed some podcast gear. I had a nonprofit organization that was just, having them laying around collecting dust, and I'm like, hey, let me borrow these for 48 hours. I put in a little equipment use request. And by the time that 48 hours was up, I had already had 100,000 views plus, on my platform.
Shit.
So now we had dropped.
Who was the artist?
This was AP the Menace. AP the Menace was one of the hotter artists in the city at the time. I had been watching him online. I had been watching him and a few others because, as you know, around like the 2019, 2020 era, we had like a real big blow on TikTok with a few hot local artists. So him of one of the few I reached out to, a lot of the big artists that I thought would make the platform pretty hot in the beginning. And he was one of the first ones to reach back. So story behind that, man, when he sat down in the chair, he had a situation with some other rappers potentially, and he got a lot of lengthy background as far as the city and a bit of violence, but he had came and basically made a diss song, and this was before I had established my rules, established the culture that I was trying to bring, and
people will try to use your platform just to clown somebody, and that makes you in the middle of it.
I had to learn that early. Like, that was one of the things we're not going to do in Indianapolis because, hey, man, Naptown, this is not a joking city. Like, they're definitely, you'll get yourself in some trouble trying to play around in the middle of that type of stuff. So, now I had established the confidence then, either I can, because like I said, I looked up to him at the time as an artist just because of the caliber of artist, me still just stepping my foot in. I'm like, damn, should I tell him, that we got to change this shit? But I dropped it. I'm like, bro, I can't do that one. Like, we got to switch it up. And he like, now I respect that, man. I respect your platform. I got one that I have been working on for, or one that they really like. We can go ahead and run it. And when we done that one, the energy was way better for me. It was a raw, authentic reaction. And that same video, it done, like I said, 100,000 plus views within the first few days.
On what platform?
In Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah, and it established the whole platform pretty much. I had to force myself to create a booking link that day. And ever since that day, people was booking Hit the Stage. And we had a lot of ups and downs since then, growth and doing showcases, trying different, ventures. But the overall journey, like I said, just stemmed from an idea and trying our hand. And it was something that once we picked it up, it really just, took off from there. We had 500 followers the first day. It was just a crazy experience coming from being one of the ones that would watch, the viral moments in the city, being on the bench. It was kind of like a surreal experience just to get pushed up to the forefront and everybody like, what up, Hit the Stage? So now it was a great experience, and it still is, man, for sure.
Let's talk about that experience with the first 100K views. When you opened Instagram and it said 100, 100, 100, what I'm saying? When it's 100 likes, 100 comments, whatever. Absolutely. What did that feel like for you?
So me, man, I think, like I said, the Indianapolis, usually we go viral off of BS, man. A lot of times when you see in the city, it's some fighting, some hating, I'm saying some crazy stuff, and it usually gets up to about 20K views, and from what I see. But that 100K, I had known that we had established a bigger move right then and there. I just know that
it's reaching people outside of Indiana,
absolutely,
pretty much too.
Proof of concept was made. I knew that everybody in the city had to have seen it, at least for the local realm as far as rappers.
That was your very first one.
Absolutely,
that's
first
wild.
one. Now,
that's wild.
It was started a great start, for sure. We didn't have to work too hard to really establish the foundation, and that's, like I said, a gift from God. To be able to get my niche right then and there, because I had
everything aligned.
Absolutely.
It was a hot time for that concept
Perfect.
too, and you were one of the first ones in the city to be like, you don't got to go to New York to pay $1,500 to do some. It's you can get those views here if you make the platform,
And then everything with the platform, man, it was all raw and authentic for quite some time, and it still is. We still, developing a grassroots budget, still trying to establish, trying to balance the service fee to, actually creating a lifestyle from it as well, because that's all I do. I don't have no job. I don't have any other hustle. So I still find myself, breaking even a lot of times and not really investing the right ways just because I'm a young entrepreneur. But I'm starting to learn and get over that curve as we near into our second year, to where I'm establishing real business principles and, learning how to establish better connections and utilize the money a little better. So now this year we should have a much better, success as far as what we can do with no budget, based on us trying to really establish something for ourselves this year.
Yeah. No, that's tight. Do you have a team that you've developed to help you with it?
So yeah, man, I call myself a one-man band, but I do have a few people that I work with, and these are people that are solely a part of the mission. I can definitely say that I'm not a one-man band, to a sense that when it's time to put the work in, showcases or camera operators or people that I know are my go-tos, I got people, shout out to Tim, shout out to Crisco, shout out to KME. These are the people, shout out to Walk. These are the people that have been around since day one, that kind of seen the vision and haven't, had an opportunity to get the financial benefits of it or anything like that, but have still, stepped in the times of need and held the extra camera and all that type of stuff. And for the most part, I still do all of the editing and all of the, posting and every single detail as far as the platform goes, DMing people and scheduling and booking. But like I said, when it comes to showcases or camera operation, like I got people involved that definitely like when we going up or when we get more success and I'm able to really establish, like these would be people that I can for sure say are established team members.
Would you say that you've worked harder at building your platform like entrepreneurially than you have like working a day job, or do you think like working a day job was harder? Like basically, is this like the kind of the hardest you've had to work at something, or is it easy?
I would say a little bit of both, man. It's a sweet spot for me because I actually enjoy working with new people, having the freedom to be myself. Like the biggest thing I always tell myself, I want to be myself for a living, meaning that anything that I like to do, if I can monetize it or utilize it in a normal day of my, rhythm of my day, I can, make money from it. That's really what I want to do. So
you don't want to have to put on a show or some
absolutely.
big front to make a piece of content.
Nah, most definitely. So now me just sitting there listening to some good music, not having to work too hard, being able to, charge a decent price, whatever it may be, and establish some type of growth for that artist, man, that's really not too much work for me. You know what I'm saying? It's good work as far as editing and keeping, consistent, and especially when I get bulk, like when I go out of town and I'm locking in 10 people a day, it becomes a bit straining, to try to, keep certain relationships and text everybody back and make sure that everybody's comfortable, because
it's not easy.
Nah, it's definitely
like sometimes people think entrepreneurial is like easier than like a 9 to 5, but a lot of times you end up working nonstop.
Nah, absolutely.
It never stops. When you're asleep, people are trying to get a hold of you.
Yeah, to the downside of it. I'm gonna speak to that as well. Like I do have myself, trying to find better systems right now, just based on how we got, editing and audio and just showcases and different elements to the platform, trying to really create a smooth balance to where we're not doing too much. And right now I am, editing hours on end, you know what I'm saying? I really don't have no social life. I only do this for a living, for real, to where I see it being my freedom, but for right now it is kind of like a prison to really lock in.
Yeah.
Most definitely, because, man, 10 years, that's my,
there's a joy in that too, where it's like probably when you pulled up to Chicago for the first time and you had 10 people lined up, it's like, damn, I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
That's got to be a good feeling.
It's a great feeling.
Britt, take us through that, your first time out this state.
Absolutely. So I went to Cincinnati, Ohio, and this just came from the concept really because, man, I felt like Indianapolis, like, not that we had done all we can do or nothing like that, but, man, we had a lot of artists and we hit so many in such a short time that it's like, what more can we really expect from the city at this point? Like, let's grow a little bit more. So yeah, I established, a bit of a idea of that tour based on analytics. So I went to my website, I went to Instagram, just to see where people was actually watching me from, and I created with my graphic designer Crisco some tour graphics to where I small advertisement budget, maybe $50 at the most. I would do $10 a day for about 5 days just to try my hand. Absolutely. And with the platform already having a nice look, I was, pretty creative with marketing. I would, put together little promo videos or different, establishing points to where by the time that they come to look at the platform, it could be interesting to them. So, yeah, me doing that, also utilizing the tap-in method, man. I would go on Instagram, go find other prominent platforms, see who's really hot, see what, who likes who, and I would go reach out to that platform owner or whatever, and shout out to Director Puck. That's who I reached out to when I got to Cincinnati. He got a platform where he shoots music videos as Director Puck, and then he got Hang the Line, and that's where all, like, similar to my platform, he got a lot of the local artists just coming on there daily. So, me tapping in with someone like that as well as doing my own thing, it's a good mix of, having a few random artists and a few artists that, are already established that people know in the city. So I think that, like, it's a great feeling, man, overall, because it's just, like I said, establishing something outside of your city. It's like, who would have thought that, this is people actually caring about this shit outside of where we at. So
yeah, and also just being able to make the artist look good.
Real talk.
Because a big artist will come to your platform if they know you're consistent and you're going to make it look good, so it's a win-win. And then a lot of artists that your platform has more reach than they do, so it's tight to be able to do that, because especially in Indianapolis and Cincinnati probably too, it's not like Atlanta where people can name 10 rappers that made it internationally and like there's a foundation of business and people are kind of handling it differently. But it's like you're kind of creating that platform from scratch.
Not trying to,
where
man.
it's hard to even know who the top artists are in the city. So like having a page like yours, you know, to be able to showcase that,
most definitely.
that is like the central part of the music scene. You know what I mean? That's where you'll find fans.
Nah, I think that right now, man, it's something that I'm looking to create a more of an exclusivity with, based on kind of something similar to what you're saying. Because when I first looked at Hit the Stage, it was more organized in my opinion, because it was like one centralized location, and now it's like we spread across the Midwest to where we got different calibers of artists, we got different age brackets, to where I still want to accept all talents, but I am going to create a divider to where it can still give artists something to look forward to, and not just be amongst a oversaturated platform. Like bringing up, you know, bigger artists once we get to, like you said, that established level where they start to see our consistency, see our grind. Even if we got to pay a few of them, you know, at a certain point, we want to, you know, start to get bigger artists on there to where it could become a platform like On the Radar, and people can say, okay, I can get lined up next to a Drake, and, you know, get lined up next to somebody hot and get that, you know, big push as well, and without feeling oversaturated with small artists, you know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's like the natural growth, because you've only been doing it 2 years.
Nah,
that's
most
not a long
definitely.
time. You know what I mean? Where who knows what next year holds? You know, you could get hit up by BFB to Pac-Man tomorrow, and then all of a sudden you got like all the Detroit people coming through your thing. You know what I mean? You never really know what it's going to hold, and when you're as consistent as you are, that's the hard part. You know, it's like, is any artist can film a video of them rapping or whatever, but to post every day, or, you know, however much you do, which is a lot, is that it's that grind that is like the important part. You know, because you'll see it compound. You probably still see old videos still get likes and stuff,
absolutely.
and they get more likes the more your catalog grows. You know?
My goal is to, like I was telling you, I don't have no real budget, so the advertisement budget is something that if I had a big advertisement budget, I feel like easily, like those On the Radar platforms, it would be a much easier scale to, you know, start to add those advertisements to the videos that already did good in the past. And I strategically keep them under 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I tell my artists, for future references, let's keep it under 1 minute and 30 seconds, because once we get to that point, I'll utilize all the hottest videos, or all the people that already smashed it and got a good establishing video, and just run continuous ads on them until, you know what I'm saying, we start to really get the benefits from even old content. So that's the goal, man.
And you said something a lot of artists could use, or businesses in general, when they're doing Instagram ads.
Absolutely.
You don't have to run them on everything, because if you run it on bad content, you could spend $1,000 on the ad and it not get you 5 followers. You know, like I've seen it where it's like a black hole. But if you wait for the content that does good organically, and then you throw gas on that fire, then you know it's good content, so people won't just scroll past you. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I see businesses and people all the time trying to make a bad post go viral through ads, and it just doesn't, you know, it doesn't work like that.
So to that point, like, I'm also going to give artists the opportunity to, because let's say right now my service fee is $150. And like I was saying, during the new year, I'm going to upgrade those prices, but with good reason. I'm going to be upgrading production, and I'm going to be incentivizing them to pay for better product or promotion through the service fee. So let's say it'll be package price 1 at $200. Now that may be instead of a $150 service fee alone, you may have a $50 advertisement budget already allocated towards it, to where even if you a lower even if you're a lower caliber artist or not, you still got the opportunity to meet your fans, because whether people, you know, understand it or not, you're going to meet your people if you know, come across new people. Whether, you know, somebody scroll past you, somebody out there, you know, everybody got their own opinions. Somebody potentially may like what you got, and you get followers organically, you know what I'm saying, from seeing that advertisement budget get utilized. So, and when I say organically, obviously you're paying for it, but it's more of an organic reaction than buying bots or doing any of the crazy, you know what I'm saying, follow for follow.
Fake views.
Most definitely.
And a lot of the times the artists will, like I see it in the studio at least, you know, they'll pay money to make this song, but then they almost don't have a marketing plan. So it's like, if you can help add value, and it's a win-win, because you both are growing off the views, because it's like a collab post or whatever.
Most definitely.
That's awesome.
And that's what I suggest the advertisement budget as well, because most times, obviously, the artists can get recognition, but they want to see, dang, where's this platform that people are on? So me suggesting that advertisement budget is going to inevitably help that particular artist, my platform, other artists.
It's smart.
It's going to be a good growth.
And it's a tax write-off. You know, if you're running if you're paying for the Instagram ad on your account is
Most
a tax write-off, even if they're paying you to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you handle all the business stuff right and
I got to put that down in my notes, man. I ain't too as savvy on the taxes yet, but now that's something I got to write down.
Basically, anything you spend on the business, whether it's traveling, the ads, the flyers, the production equipment, you know, all that stuff. The same way for an artist paying for studio time or music videos or the beat, if you keep track of all that like a business, you'll get a percentage back. But if you don't keep track and you don't file that to your taxes, you know, then you're just letting the money go without getting any of it back.
No,
you know
what I mean?
but no, that's wild. So, I know this is kind of hard question. Are there any sessions like that stood out to you where it was like, damn, this is like more than rap? Like, the views, whatever, but it's like, did any of them like really stick out to where it's like, damn, I feel like I should be doing this, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times, man, we work with behind the scenes art. You know, you kind of know how it is as well. A lot of times people have different budgets, people got different, you know, stories, etc. to where, man, we really make impact. And kind of a lot of times, you know, we see artists go from certain level of views to, you know, a nice different caliber. And man, we really put people in a position to where they could become household names the same way as I was saying before. There was an era where, you know, these artists that are established now, and they was just getting in the game. And this is something that, you know, we hit the stage. I'm starting to see artists like Cowboy or Kaj or, you know, a few of the ones that, you know, just to name those, a few of the ones that hit the stage and have Rallo Wick, you know, and established newer fans and bigger, broader names because of the platform. So it's a great feeling just alone with that, knowing that we make an impact to individuals and, you know, creating them a better success, because that's what the platform is for. Like I said, originally we had no budget as far as Sicko Boy a rapper, and we started this journey because of the need and the want that we had, to where we want to feed that to others. So now when we able to give artists the benefits that we wanted, you know what I'm saying, it's like, it's a good feeling overall, man.
Yeah. So one of the coolest things I've seen, you had Sir Lancelot come through.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
What happened with Lance Stevenson?
So, man, shout out to Nori the GOAT, man. He definitely is the GOAT for this one. So, he hit the stage himself. He had a song called How You What, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty.
I've been told I should make that the theme song for the How You What podcast.
I think so, man. Now that's pretty the most catchy Indianapolis song I would say right now as far as putting on for the city, man. I think between that and that 4200 Corey song, I think they really, you know what I'm saying, putting on for the city.
Indiana's getting looks.
Oh, man, they
Big Row, and people are getting viral, you know. And
not to let me not forget about Big Row. I think he just got a G Herbo collaboration.
Oh, shit.
I just seen it. He dropped a little snippet, man. So by the time y'all see that, man, I'm looking forward to seeing that my damn self, man. So.
And it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, he got that, fuck him.
Nah, for sure.
It's like, you know, in Atlanta back in the day or whatever, it's like, as people keep pushing that ceiling, more artists are gonna figure out the path to do things the right way.
Absolutely.
You know?
Now, I'm proud of him, man, and I think that he has to go through changes right now that a lot of artists or a lot of people are not going to understand. Like, and even me myself, like, let's say with my content, he's hit the stage before and he had to archive my content, and he has, you know, a multitude of different content. But I think that with the record label and with growing to new, you know what I'm saying, avenues, I never look at him in a bad light because of it. I look at him like as if he's growing, because
he's figuring out the business.
Gotta share certain shit to make it to certain levels. So I think that, you know what I'm saying, he's finding his way. He understands that, and the industry understands that Indiana does not have a sound yet. Rock with your sound. Do this, do it a specific way. And he still shows homage to the city enough to where even if he gotta, you know what I'm saying, do his own thing for a while, he's still repping Naptown. So shout out to Big Road, man. And if you gotta break off and do what you gotta do, man, go do what you gotta do. Just don't forget about the people, you know what I'm saying, when you get there, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's real. And with artists, you know, there's a handful of artists that have been like pushing that ceiling, but we've had producers and all kinds of people that, you know, Grammy winning, working with the top of the top artists, you know. So it's definitely not like it's impossible. And as you figure out the content, I feel like that's what, you know, where everything kind of comes together.
Yeah. Indianapolis, not to cut you off, man, we got one of the most creative individuals in the world, I would say. And we got, you know, access to the least resources, in my opinion, to where by the time that we establish and really get in the world, like let's say for me for instance, when we get to these different markets like Atlanta, or we get to, you know, bigger possibilities, the grind or where we coming from, we didn't have the silver spoon. And we really learned, and we got, you know, creativeness about ourselves to where we really got that grassrootsness, you know what I'm saying? So I really vouch for Naptown in general, and I think that we got a lot of potential coming up in the industry. We just need to work and really focus on our budget, because we have limited budgets. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we had the money,
like you got to have the business plan
most
to go
definitely.
along with the marketing, so that
Absolutely.
you're not wasting money, or that you capitalize when you get that million views. You know how to make business sense with
Absolutely.
it to keep it going. So a lot of artists, though, they hate that to be an artist, you basically have to be a content creator. You know, the
Yeah.
labels don't give a fuck about you if you don't already got a lot of views coming in,
Most definitely.
like organically. You know what I mean? Or you have 1 million followers, you can get signed even if the music isn't good. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
So what advice do you have for an artist that has talent, but they have like nowhere to start with marketing, or you know, getting themselves out there on social media, or just getting attention, I guess?
I would say, man, really perfecting your craft, because like right now, I think skills pay the bills to me. Like, even when people come on my platform and don't really have big followers or whatever it may be, it's an opportunity to give yourself an audition. So I would say, man, really focus on creating you a rollout, really perfecting your skills, to where by the time that you drop and by the time that the world sees what you got going on, this is not a situation where opportunity meets preparation, or, you know what I'm saying, opportunity is,
I know what you're saying.
no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, opportunity meets
No,
preparation.
most
You're
definitely.
ready
You
for
want to
that
be
shit
already
when it
ready
happens.
for it, because a lot of
Yeah.
times it's vice versa. Artists are playing around with the music, like, oh, I'm going to just try this, or my homies told me to do it. And, you know what I'm saying, they really end up having to force themselves into growth if people like them, and they don't even really have the business savvy or the understanding of the rap. So, man, yeah, definitely go understand, you know what I'm saying, the rollouts, BMI, ASCAP, royalties, you know, distribution, etc., working with producers, establishing, you know, your own inner niche with music, to where by the time that the world hears you, even if you don't got no motion, talent is going to get what it's supposed to get, attention.
Yeah, that's real. Because at the end of the day, you could have the business and marketing, but if you're marketing no talent, it's not gonna work either.
Nah,
you
most
know?
definitely. And to the other side as well, like the people that have limited talent, that have an understanding of marketing, I would say, man, utilize that to your advantage. Because, like, let's say, for instance, I work with an artist named Kiki Marie.
Mhm.
And Kiki Marie is somebody that's working with Drewski, somebody that's been on Could Have Been Records, and she's looked at as, you know, like one of the artists that are comedic kind of rappers, in my opinion, or the way that
Like
the
almost
industry treats them.
Georgiana, like they thought it was a joke at
Nah,
first.
most definitely. So when you actually meet these type of artists, you know, they actually have the skill sets and the, you know, the want and the drive to really make it. And I would say to those artists, really establishing those systems, that'd be the thing. When you get to that certain level, if you don't have a booking link, or if you don't have email process or certain processes to where people can take you serious, or you don't have graphics to promote the services that you're trying to push. Let's say, like, I'm posting stories, or, you know, I'm reposting stories for $20. Have a realistic graphic, even if it's from Canva, but just, you know, taking that step up to really feel,
Professional.
you know, feel more professional. Because once
Yeah.
you already got the views and the numbers and the looks, if you establish that professionalness and people, you send numbers out, they ain't gonna have nothing to do but digest it and either say yes or no. And if you tell them $1,000 or whatever it may be, it's gonna feel as if though maybe you have done this before. If they see you establishing yourself correctly, they'll pay it. So just present yourself correctly, and hey, man, you might get blessed.
And one thing I noticed too, the artists that are making money and stuff, they're selling it like a business. Like
Yeah,
they
most
don't
definitely.
just wait for people to hit them up for a feature.
Mhm.
They'll hit up 100 or 1,000 people on Instagram and sell their feature while their shit's hot.
Nah,
You know,
real
it's
talk.
like if I was on your thing and got 100K views, I would that same week I would be trying to sell a bunch of features. You
Real
know what I'm
talk.
saying? Or like keep the motion going. You know.
Most definitely.
Are you going to use your platform to push yourself as an artist now that, you know, because it's like that's kind of where it started, right?
Yeah, so I think that, like, I'm past it in a way. Like, I think the fulfillment that I'm gonna get from music is obviously still being creative, still rapping, still doing my thing, but I see benefits in hold on. I see benefits in really, you know what I'm saying, working with artists and pushing them. So I have lost the appeal or want for the limelight, because I think that it's gonna take a lot of work in the limelight. And I can see, you know, being behind the scenes, coordinating, you know, the finances and doing, you know, events and having a good establishment within the industry. I can be the guy without being the guy. I can have the guy right next to me, you know what I'm saying, and be the guy because the guy is, you know, established through me or whatever that may look like. But now I still want to, have a big hand within the music. I still might ghostwrite, write music. I still might even drop projects, and I still might even hit the stage my damn self, but I won't utilize it as like a catalyst for my success, more or less.
Like a cheat code where you post every day.
Nah, nothing like that. I don't like, and somebody said that, like Sicko Boy Saturdays, because people know me for music, you know what I'm saying? Like the people that did know, they actually know I'm pretty talented, but it's nothing that I would ever lose or leave. But I just think that Hit the Stage, it serves its purpose for what it is, to where if I was to grind now off music, I wouldn't even try to use Hit the Stage as a cheat code. I know things now that I didn't know as an artist, to where if I wanted to go at it now, as Sicko Boy, which established Hit the Stage, I got access to any feature I want. I got access to studios.
The network.
I'm good. If I wanted to be a rapper, I can do this shit now, because I'm a household name as far as Hit the Stage, to where it will be a no-brainer because of the benefits that I can provide, to where, I could be running it up just off of financially, clout, whatever it may be, and it could really be a big wave. But I don't think I would just oversaturate it through Hit the Stage, though.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. And it wouldn't work if you did that.
Nah,
if you only,
sure.
you know what I mean? Like, now, like, you probably, like you said, the other platforms in Cincinnati where you could go on a tour that other people just don't even know about.
Real talk.
And it's, you wouldn't want to, that's smart. And is like good to know, because an artist starting out that doesn't know anybody in the city, they're trying to picture it all in their head, but they don't have a network at all. It's like, the shit is far away, and it's all smoke and mirrors. It's like if you don't understand the music business and how people are getting paid, it just all seems easy.
Not real tough.
Like, because rappers make it seem easy. They're like, oh, I didn't even know what I said. You know what I mean?
And everything ain't what it seemed, man. Like, I want to clip this moment in particular. Like, I think a lot of times in this music industry, or just in life in general, we look at people, or we look at things from a distance, and we see it, and we get a perspective in our heads. And then if we just keep working, or if we just stay focused on our paths and our journey, and everything aligns, you'll see all those same people through a different lens. And not even to say it's a negative lens, but you'll start to understand that, like, everybody's human. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, is going through different things, etc. To where even when it comes down to interactions of finances, or charging certain people, or whatever it may be, it becomes all more understandable. Or even seeing the small 15-year-old artist in your DM saying, yo, I ain't got no money, I want to whoop, I got the talent. I've been him before. I've sent that stupid. But yeah, man, it's not what it seems, man. When you get to that level, or when you just keep grinding, you will start to learn yourself more. You'll start to learn your surroundings more, and you'll just understand it, man. It's just a game, and you just got to play the game how it go, and shit, gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah, and you got to know how to roll with the punches, because even like now, the shit's gonna fuck up. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But it's like you can't give up when it gets shitty.
That's the time you got to put in that work, man. They say it's vicissitudes, man. It's ups and downs, and I look at it like stocks, like. You know what I'm saying? You get in the market at certain places, it might be a good spot, whatever it may be, but it's going to keep fluctuating regardless, man. You just got to ride that wave, man. Some parts is going to be good. I have losses, you're going to have wins, but you got to ride that wave.
Yeah. Was there ever a point you felt discouraged? Because starting at 100K views kind of fucks it up for you. Because then when you do 10 videos to 10 views or whatever, it's got to feel sort of bad. You know what I mean? So what is it that kept you pushing? Was it like knowing that you got 100K views in the past and that this is gonna work?
I think that, man, what keeps me pushing is that I work with different artists, and certain artists have different expectancies based on talent. Like, I don't have just all artists that coming in with 500 followers or low level. So I got hit or miss moments. Like you said, I had Lance Stevenson come on. I've had low people that have no followers, and there's a good, exchange between, to where I think the platform still stays notable. I don't think anybody's looking at Hit the Stage when it's 2,000 views versus 100,000 and saying, hey, dang, Hit the Stage is falling off, because the artists are, a lot of the have to do with what's going on, to where I can only do so much, to a sense, to where I just accepted my journey as far as, what I can do and what I can't do. If you have the skills to pay the bills, we will go far. If you are, still on your way or on your journey, look at the scale between what you've done before Hit the Stage and what Hit the Stage has done. And even then, more than likely, when you look at those views, Hit the Stage is more than likely, like if you look at 90% of the artists, the most viewed video or the most liked video that they have, to where it's still a win. I never look at it as a loss, because like I said, even the people that have 2,000 views on my page and 50, 60 likes, you go on their page, they only get 200 views and 2 likes on their average post. So it's like, oh, okay, it's a win still. It's not a loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned stocks, but it's like that where if a stock you own goes down 5%, you're not 5% dumber. You know what I mean? Like you're not worse off just because one video didn't do good. You know, but there's like a mind fuck about social media, right? Where sometimes it's hard to like not care about a hater comment or like it's like a psychological warfare on social media. You know what I'm saying? So do you find yourself like ever struggling with that by having to be on social media so much?
I think, man, with me, the biggest thing, like as far as psychologically, that I went through with the social media side was having to balance, because I'm not sure if you're familiar with this situation, but the Boosie situation and Ivy.
Oh, right. I forgot about it.
Nah, so that particular situation, man, I think that like of my whole journey, that was one of the most like situations where I had to, try to balance and figure out, my move, because public slander and just reputation in general, I think that it didn't stop my motion, but it did hinder it for quite some time. Like behind the scenes, all the services got a bit slower. Everything, was kind of slowing down.
Probably makes you, in the back of your head, you're like, fuck, is the city turning against me?
In a way.
So hold on 1 second. Let me fix the camera and then we'll talk about it. I'm glad you mentioned that because I low-key wasn't even going to say it.
For sure.
Are you cool about talking about like details of it?
No, it's cool with me, yeah. Anything I'm not, I just you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna...
Just give it to me real quick. If you're gonna be right back.
It won't affect you, man.
That's cool. She could be in the video for a second. What are you even doing, girl? Are you doing some stuff? Is she in the shot, or is it messing anything up?
No, it's not gonna mess anything up. Yeah, it might get us more views. You know,
Sure.
You never know. So I wanted to ask you also, how you balance the work entrepreneurial grind with the family life too, because I know that can be hard.
Absolutely. So now, right now, I'm trying to find my way, man. Developing these systems. I'm still, utilizing. As a man, you gotta obviously have a budget and a foundation to take care of it all, to where Hit the Stage is, my engine right now. So just trying to find a balance to where I can better support that business side, because with the business being, like I said, my only source of income, if I, stop providing services, whatever that may look like, or if I'm, over busy, it fluctuates my home life, so I need to find that sweet balance to where business, becomes so stable or so smooth, to where I got team members, I got, consistent cash flow, I got whatever that looks like, to where I can be more involved, family wise, because even down to, my personal family, my wife and my baby, I have, a good balance there. But as far as like my siblings and my cousins or whatever that may look like, I have, very limited social life, or just, exterior. So I do need to, try to balance that a lot better. So it's a struggle, but at the end of the day, I do it with a purpose, because I know if I get to where I'm trying to go, all of those people that are, sad or feel like, hey, you don't hang out with us, whatever it may be, they gonna all be able to, reap the benefits, because we're gonna have good experiences. So it's, gotta ride the wave a little bit.
And it's hard. It can be hard for other people to realize like the compounding effect of it, where like it is hard to predict where you're gonna be next year. If you were working a day job, you're going to be at the day job, you know what I mean? Sure. But if you get 1 million views and then 1 million views, all of a sudden everything changes. And it can be hard for people around you to realize that's the grind you're on. It's not just, I'm working for the little upfront money now.
No, most definitely.
It's like you're building your own platform,
This would be hopefully my generational wealth, in a sense that I can pass down to the ones in my family or in my community that
royalties from your channel,
absolutely everything. This would be it, hopefully, man.
So obviously I'm not trying to dive into it for gossip.
No, most definitely.
At all, and so you mentioned the Boozy thing, right? And what's hard about that is like there's not a more loved artist in Indianapolis than Boozy. Definitely. You know what I mean? So for him to be like, we don't need Indianapolis, fuck Indianapolis, we're like, what? You know what I mean? He's everybody's favorite artist. Like if you look at all the like older, like the maybe not the super young generation, but Boozy was on
even
top,
the young generation now. Boosie,
you gotta respect it.
I still respect Boosie, and I understand the situation, being more mature. I think that as an entrepreneur, I made mistakes, but I think that those mistakes didn't warrant for certain reactions, in my opinion. But you know what I'm saying? I think that what I learned from that situation
Can you break it down in your own words? What
absolutely.
happened?
So just the simple terms, you know what I'm saying? Because I got a 17-minute video that I already discussed about it. And like I said, I even critiqued myself on that now that I look back at it. But long story short, man, I was in a position to where me representing my city, I put my reputation on the line with either one or two parties. And this is what I mean by that. So, hold on, let me get a situation.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay. So yeah, man, me with the city. Okay, never mind. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah. And even now, it's
ask
like
the question again.
Yeah. Well, even now, it's like that. Even like the moment right now goes to show like the juggling you do. You got like a baby in one hand, you're fixing the camera, you're worried about what you're gonna say. You know what I mean? It's there's a lot of pieces that go into it outside of what you see when you post something.
Real talk.
But no, we're just getting into the Boozy situation because I was confused. I guess I did watch the thing you posted, but I didn't know about it at the time. Like I wasn't like I wasn't worried about it. Like I wasn't like it's Indianapolis versus everybody. At the end of the day, looking back on it, it's probably fucking cool, right?
Nah, for sure. We made a big impact, a big wave in the city, and
it probably helped you grow too. You probably gained hella followers.
Nah, most definitely. It gave me some confidence because, like you said, Boosie is the favorite artist of Indianapolis. You know what I'm saying? As far as the OGs, the youngsters, like he probably be the only one that's to mention when you mention like who really can come here just often. It'll be Boosie. Yeah. And right now, I think Big Boogie's walking into that position right now, but now Boosie has established that for years in this city. And for me to get people to stand up behind my words and even the mistake that I made, it showed me that not only is my my voice valued, but the work that I'm doing and what I'm standing for, people respect it. So it did give me confidence, but at the same time, like I said, as a entrepreneur, as a man, I want to reflect on that situation and say that I know for future references is mistakes that I won't make based on obviously, being communicative for one, and being, a little more friendly as far as through business. Business is business, and certain people, respect business in different ways to where if you've seen something or if you learned something or if you've been around a certain level of environment, there's certain things that you just feel as if though or you won't accept. So I think that was one of those moments to where the training that she had or the things that she's seen, that's something that just like not to be, like I said, offensive, but certain people establish certain rules to where that wasn't gonna slide for her. And I can understand being in the perspective now, like, hey, can't play with certain people's money. If they thought I was playing with their money, I can see that reaction happening, but I just couldn't respect it in the moment to where I see that being the reason why we didn't, have a good communication.
You don't have to if you don't want to, but can you explain what happened just in your own words?
Because
I'm still a little confused by what actually happened, because I would hear different things.
Quick breakdown. So long story short, we were doing a showcase, and my goal was to really, outside of just the showcase, put the city on a little bit because Ivy is, like I said, Boosie being the hottest artist coming to the city. Ivy is almost like this should be her playground a bit once she, start to learn about it, So with me bringing her here, I wanted to establish like a a bit of, tour for her, basically let her learn the city in a way. But I was going to, create the opportunity through other artists or other people to, buy their way into it. So let's say if you wanted her to stop and pull up and do a promo and show your food, send a little $150 to where we can make that a part of our itinerary to where when we got her for these hours, we can show off what we're doing. So as far as the showcase side, I had everything lined up on that side. Artists locked in, got everything good. But as far as the itinerary, which was an extra $500 or so dollars, I had to account for that on my own behalf based on the fact that nobody was really interested in bringing Ivy or, paying for that type of, service or promo, or maybe they couldn't afford it at the time. And that fell through. So when I came back to the Airbnb after after she got off the hotel plane, after she got from the plane, she basically was saying that she rather, go get situated at the Airbnb, get her some food, get situated, and then we could, worry about the finances based on the communication. I said, did you want to go to the bank? I didn't get to cash out from the website because certain websites obviously have a few day waiting period to where I had to really, kind of bite the bullet and really wait till that money cashed out that morning, and we could have went straight to the bank, or we could have went to the hotel. Is what you did. So once I did that, I left for a few hours, went to get my braids done, and came back with the money. Now, the money that I had, like I said, the situation about the marijuana, all that type of stuff, I'm going to leave that out for now. But there was a miscommunication about the finances based on, some exchanges that we had done. And when I came back, she told me basically, hey, I don't like how you're doing business this time. And when she said that, I was a bit confused because I had just put $2,000 plus in her hand, and she's counted out, you know what I'm saying? But like when she's saying that, she kind of changed her demeanor now that she got the money. And when she said it, I'm confused. I'm like, what's going on? Why are you feeling this way? And she kind of started to describe why she felt this way. You should have had my money when you got off the plane. And her demeanor changed. And it almost, to me, just like I said, looking back on it, was like, I'm looking at Boosie talking to me right now. She was like, nigga, you should have had my money when you got off the plane. Whoop, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The way she started coming at me, I started to get a little defensive, but not in a way to where it was disrespectful. I'm like, I'm confused. I started to display confusion. And I'm looking at her manager, looking back at her, trying to create an understanding, but it was such a short fuse that it was like there could be no understanding. You should have had my money. Boo. Matter of fact, get the fuck out the Airbnb until we start the Twitch stream. Oh, and you $200 short. All within a span of like 30 seconds to where the situation was that even the short money, my uncle she sent me a text, hey, I need some deodorant. They didn't allow me to bring my deodorant, whatever it may be. Can you stop and grab some deodorant? My uncle has the $200 that I was short basically in his pocket, and the only reason we didn't come in the door together was because we was getting her deodorant, to where it put a little dilemma as far as, her counting that money, him not being right here right now with the extra two. She like, oh, I'm short, whoop. So it was a frustration to where she just flashed out, and I couldn't contain that flash. And her manager didn't step in and, establish any type of middle ground or
keep it rolling, keep it pushing.
Nah, he basically just watched it happen. Like, this was her, she doing this is how he responding, and just looking back and forth between us. And at the point where she, establishing so much disrespect, fuck your city, fuck Naptown, you wouldn't have been shit without me, you need me, establish such disrespect. It made me get outside of my character, which, I started to disrespect back. Like, well, fuck you. Whoop. And I wanted my money back in that moment, but I had to keep a level-headedness about myself to where I couldn't do that because I already respected, like I said, Boosie. I respect Ivy. I respect the situation. She's a female. This is business. So I had to establish a certain level of restraint, even though $3,000 or close to $3,000 of my dollars was in risk right now. Yeah. And with that, it was just, like I said, a miscommunication to where business couldn't go any further based on how heated that moment got. We both decided that, this show can't go on because certain words were said in that moment from both parties to where it just wasn't safe.
It's not going to be right.
And with that, we had established that it wasn't going to go on. And then publicly, Boosie made that post. When he made the post,
you probably weren't expecting it at all?
Not even a little bit, because I didn't understand that the story was going to be translated that way. And it basically was taken as if though we had taken something from her, or we had
shorted on purpose.
Man, it was more or less like, I even watched the reference, the Janky Promoters. And man, I watched the movie. I was in distraught. Like, this is what they thought of me, like Janky Promoter.
I fucking love that movie, bro. Man, that's Jelly Roll. That's Mike Epps. Like, I love that movie. I was
Jelly Rolling them. I was so mad once I watched that movie. I'm like, damn, they had me as Janky Promoter. But now it put me in a position, like I said, to where I really had to, depend on my city, because I know my heart. I know what I'm doing it for. I'm trying to get artist opportunity. I'm broke. I'm trying to do it all from scratch. But that's not an excuse in the real world to where I had to really wonder if they was gonna rock with Boosie and like, nigga, you should have had that money, or if there was going to be an understanding to the fact that I'm a young entrepreneur. Nobody else in my city is trying to create opportunities like this. He bumped his head. He trying to figure it out. Let's rock with him, man. It was a good blend of both, but the side where they rocked with me was so strong that it gave me the confidence, you know what I'm saying, to keep going, to where I didn't feel unsafe. I didn't feel like I couldn't book people no more, nothing like that, to where it strengthened me in a way. It strengthened my network. People, you know what I'm saying, was reaching out at the time to where it was like, you know, this is a big move, but at the same time, it did slow down my business because a lot of people stopped booking services around that time. It was more or less like a
wait and see what's
let's see what's gonna happen with him before we just give him our money, because he, you know what I'm saying. So I feel like
in the immediate, like that's that psychological pressure where an average person could give up everything. They could be like, "Fuck this, I'm going back to my job. Fuck, I'm gonna delete the whole page." You know what I mean? Definitely. Some people would have done that, you know, but being able to learn from it. Now you know that's not going to happen again. Absolutely. You know, you probably know how in your head you'd replay it and definitely handle it real smooth, make it not happen.
Man, I want to make this a disclaimer.
And it doesn't even sound like it's your fault, to be honest. It sounds like it was kind of like it just wasn't super professional. Where like she can't be moving city to city like that without having problems in every city. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like it's not all on you, and you're an independent business anyway. It's not like you're Amazon where you just hit refund. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I think the biggest thing was just a little bit of grace. That's the main thing I felt like I could have asked for. Because as a human, I understand her, you know what I'm saying, as far as being in another city, wanting your money, how you want it, you know what I'm saying, how you thought it was going to be. And I think that she just didn't have enough faith or enough, where there was no friendship or communication enough to where that fuse was short. And to this point, and to this day, I just want to make this a disclaimer. If you clip any of this, make sure that at least this part get clipped. I still respect Ivy. I respect Boosie. I understand the situation being a little further in my journey. I just think that, like I said, we got off on the wrong foot as far as communication, and we definitely could create, you know, further business based off of that downfall. And what I mean by that is the city thought Boosie, you know what I'm saying, was going all the way against us, saying about, you know, but I think that he just, you know, displayed it like that because he was mad about his daughter. I see a reunion in a way to where me and Boosie can make money together, me and Ivy can make money together. The city could be rekindled.
More now than ever.
Nah, most definitely.
You know, and because of that,
artists can benefit more than ever. Because let's say we do a showcase now, and I don't know if Boosie would be up for it. He might still feel disrespected, but I feel like if Ivy was to hear me, and like I said, we had a conversation where we could understand, hey, we not friends, but if we was to ever do business, or if we could be friends, that was, you know what I'm saying, a mistake. I understand you. Hopefully you understand me. We don't got to talk about the details, but it's still room for both of us to be great because she got poison bars. She got a platform that she's doing, and it's room for us to, like I started it to be, us to create together. I seen a faith in her. I seen an actual passion in Ivy to where she was looking at these artists and really having that same look that I got in my eyes because she's seen certain talent. She can, I believe that she still has that skill, you feel me, to where I don't discredit her for that one situation because no blood was shed, nothing like that. I'm not even that type of guy. If we could one day establish to where we could still come back and Boosie, you know what I'm saying, show us some type of appreciation or say, hey, Naptown, and I even publicly apologize to them or whatever it may be, and we create some type of, man, let's mend this. I would love to see a Boosie, man, you know? What? Yeah. I would love to be like a partner in a Boosie show collaboration or host Hit the Stage X Boosie. And you know what I'm saying? He got limited time, I believe, because he got other situations. But, bro, if he can make that happen, that would be great, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I ain't got no ill will, and I understand my mistakes, and I understand how it would move forward to where it would be business. It wouldn't be nothing but, you know what I'm saying, reestablishing what he had and putting something, you know what I'm saying, for me back in the front and making sure our artists, the ones that I would let showcase at that show or whatever it may be, got some big spotlight. So that would be great if it could ever happen now, for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, it just goes to show, you know, like I don't judge it at all. Like, a low key, I'm kind of jealous because if that happened to me, like the me before I was engineer would be like, you're fucking talking to Boosie's talking about you. What the fuck? You know what I mean? That would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, how you said, like, being able to reconcile it, because shit's not perfect. Like, I've had sessions where people walked out on me.
Not most definitely.
When I was learning and whatnot. And then a year later, I'll hit him up and be like, you know, like I learned from my mistakes. You know what I mean?
Talk.
Trust me, one more time, I'm gonna make it shake. You know what I'm saying?
And
then it's my guy. You know, even though like
definitely.
you know there are times like that where sometimes even the session you think is like the worst of the worst, when they come back, sometimes that'll end up being like you know you can't judge it by one instance. You know,
definitely.
yeah.
And I didn't see Ivy in that light at first, and I think that like she is a female. You know what I'm saying? It could have been a situation physically where she might have just been upset that day. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go too far into detail,
let's
but
not start some other shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like just to be real, you know what I'm saying? To where I don't hold that too far against her. You know what I'm saying? I think that
she could have a fucked up day.
Nah,
you know
she
what I
could
mean?
have been having
she doesn't even.
You feel me? All type of shit. It could have been some shit from at home, whatever. To where
it could have been her manager telling her get your whole money. You know what I mean? And then you know you never really know the pressure behind the scenes.
Like I said, I just think that if
and
a little bit of grace was given to me, because I think that we had to understand as far as me as a young entrepreneur, upcoming creator. She, you know, even said, man, sicko boy, man, you young, you doing all this. I respect you. Woo. In the car ride right before that. And then it kind of was like a little different to it. It was like, man, I was so confused. I was like, damn. But, yeah, man, that's, like I said, that's enough on that particular topic. Like anything that we got from it, just make sure that bare minimum, the part where, you know what I'm saying, I acknowledge my wrongs, acknowledge how we can move forward. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to bring that up and bring any scabs or unpeel anything. I want to make sure that if we talk about that, that is something that obviously will be a part of my, you know, journey and story forever. To where anytime I discuss
a moment in Indianapolis forever. You know,
absolutely.
That's and like I said, I don't think anybody here hates you because of it at all. You know what I mean? Like at all. I don't think that really. I don't think Boozy hates you either. You know what I mean? It's just like a moment that happened where it's like, what the fuck happened? You know what I'm saying? And looking back on it, you probably could literally see how many followers you got in that week or whatever. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's a win. You know, and even if you never reconcile, you know, there's certain people that just aren't. It doesn't have to work out with everybody. You know, I mean, it's almost impossible to make it work out with everybody because not everybody's on the same wave. You know?
The reason I said that is to, like you said, just to at least open that door, because I know it's a possibility that some people might see that and be like, bruh, still F hit the stage, F Naptown, and that may be under discretion that they might not have ever felt like they had the opportunity to say maybe we would do that. So if I say my words or my intentions or how I feel, being humble, you know what I'm saying, enough to say, hey, man, that's behind me. They might say, man, that's behind me too. Man, let's get this money because it's money to be made, and I know they bought their bag.
And they probably don't, even if they say F hit the stage, they don't know what they're actually saying. You know what I mean? Like they're not personally going after what you've created and all the hustle and grind behind the scenes and everything. You know, it's like it's like seeing a hater comment. You know, you could get 1,000 people with the fire emoji, but the one that talks shit, for whatever reason they're talking shit, that's the one you remember. You know what I mean? Where, I hope you don't feel bad about that.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah. So what is the plan for next year in the future? Like, where do you see yourself kind of taking everything?
So, man, right now, man, we actually just got to the process where we starting to discuss deals and contracts, and this is a process that I didn't even think we was going to be here at this point. And right now I'm in the process of trying to, you know, make sure that my brand as far as trademarking is officially legit because, as I said, man, this was just a quick process where I tried my hand. It blew up overnight, and I've been rolling ever since for quite some time. But it's time to really establish, like, it's even potential that we may have to rebrand in the future just to become all the way legit. But, you know, really just establishing, for one, opportunities at a consistent rate for artists. Venues and performances is one of the things that I feel like artists are undersaturated in. We got social media, but performances and real deal experiences, man, that's what I want to curate. So this upcoming year, you can expect a lot of great experiences, starting with January 24th to the 25th, which is the day that we started Hit the Stage 2 years ago, January 25th. We'll be celebrating that day, you know what I'm saying, with a nice luxury dinner experience with some live performers, a band, and an after party. And then I'll be saying some prominent things that day, you know what I'm saying, setting expectation, releasing some, you know, scheduling or whatever it may be for some a rollout of events and partnerships, man. I'm looking to really establish budget to where people that have the budget to pay to get things, you know, things seen, or if they want to, you know, invest in us or help us out, or they see vision and Hit the Stage, I like to establish, you know, connections with venue owners, people that have, you know, the financial backing, or, you know, people in the industry that can really help us to where these artists could actually get, you know, placed to better opportunities. Because at the end of the day, if I create a simple lifestyle for myself as far as being able to, you know, say, let's go and rap on this platform, I don't want these people to be spending their money, going void. I actually want to create real opportunities to where even if it's just media assets that they can use for another opportunity, this could be something that really, really establishes somebody else's life. So
like real value added, not just pay me $500 to open for this concert that nobody's at. You know what I mean? Because there's smoke and mirrors in it, and if you find the right way, because you were an artist that started from nothing, sending out the random emails and whatever, like if you can actually add that value, that's where the longevity is, because people can't get scammed forever. You know what I'm saying?
So the goal is, man, we'll hit the stage. We've already established an online presence to where with the social media side mixed with the online performances, as you've seen, we recap most of our showcases. We got a online presence with that to where, as you saying, let's say for instance, if we bring one of the hottest artists out like YK Nice, instead of you opening a random club and only the people in the club seeing you, you have an established platform like Hit the Stage to where we going to automatically, if you lock in that slot, we got certain price packages to where you can pay the type of benefits that you really want to receive, to where if you want the meet and greet, you want the studio session, whatever access that we can get you, we're going to get you, but we're going to create a package for it to where you can really feel represented, and it's a place to where you can go see it. It's not just going to be like, hey, I'm Pookie and I got a video of me performing in front of YK Nice. It's going to be Hit the Stage, collaborating with you, showcasing on our online impact, as well as the fans that we brought out, as well as the high-quality recap footage that we're going to provide to where if you want to go show somebody else why you need to be booked for a headliner, you're going to have the assets already. So we just want to establish that to where Hit the Stage becomes...
Making them look good.
Man, making them look great, man, for sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the actual artists, because we've said artists a lot. Who are your top 3 artists that have hit the stage so far?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I don't answer those type of questions only because, man, I worked with hundreds of artists, bro, and I feel like top 3 to me really, is experience-based, and I think that, man, with all these experiences, all these great artists, I'd be selfish to myself and to the artist to just pick a top 3.
It's an impossible answer. I know, and all those top lists are always biased and bullshit.
And I'm Hit the Stage. I can't be out here letting people know my top 3 because at the end of the day.
I'm asking like your personal in a way too. It's not about like who the best is.
Nah, most definitely.
It's just about like who stands out to you of doing it, where it's like, damn, that session was, it stands out.
I'm gonna say
just
this.
to shed light, because sometimes people don't even know the artist.
Say that, Nate. That's a good point. So, man, I think that one of the most memorable moments, man, was when Moo 3Ks hit my platform.
He's hard.
Now, Moo is one of the people that, like I said, I watched online and I seen from that perspective, and actually, getting to meet some of these artists and work with them, I'm able to see, and critique, some of the things about them that, like, okay, this is why, or this is, why these people are great, etc. And he was one of the ones that actually, when I got in person and seen his skills, it was like, oh shit, this nigga can really rap. Like, he ain't just playing.
He's got a good sound. He's got the melody, the lyrics, and the image, everything. You know what I mean? To me, he's one of my favorite artists too. Like, it's not even about like biggest or who else says that.
Absolutely.
But like from working, the same thing, like seeing it in person, it's like he could make a hit song. You know what I'm saying?
Top.
And I hope he's grinding, because it's, like we said, it's like the talent, the business and marketing, but with consistency, and he's pretty young, you know what I mean? Where it's like, I definitely put him as one of the top.
Now, if I was to like bring somebody to Indianapolis, an established artist, and I had to pick 3 artists that I would say I'm bringing to the studio, that's the better way I would frame that question, just for comfortability.
I was gonna ask you that next.
I would bring Moo 3Ks, I would bring Lil Scooty, and man, that third artist, man, I think I would bring, man, a real Naptown representation to me would be, man, that was a hard slot, but not for sure. For starters, I'm gonna definitely show those 2, man. And Lil Scooty, he is my blood brother, but even outside of that, man, I think that like for the young upcoming wave and the people that I would manage and the type of skill sets that I've seen, I see that same type of, skill with him. Like, he got his own package that people, like, if you hear his verbiage and what he can put together, it's like one of those ones that's really set apart. Like, a lot of people rap, but some people, like, strategically put words together and give you a feeling.
They're not just talking.
Nah, most definitely. So.
Especially some of the ones in the city, too. It's like somebody outside the city wouldn't like, they would think they're just talking, but really they're saying, like, the real life stories and shit that, like, it's like definitely. If you know their story, the music makes even more sense.
Nah, real talk.
Who in Indianapolis that hasn't hit the stage yet, do you want to hit the stage? Maybe they see this clip and come through.
I'll say, man, 4200 Corey, and we just recently texted each other. I let him know that, man, I've been seeing his platform for a while. You know what I'm saying? I like the skill that he has, and I only usually follow artists that I work with. But I had to follow, bro. Like, it's not even no hate or nothing like that to where I just was trying to hold back. But like I said, me respecting my platform and, you know, the other people that I worked with, I'm like, I only follow people I worked with. But I kept seeing his consistency, and he really, you know, understood the sauce, I think. Like, I think that he put that song together, his story, his city, right into that perfect package.
Great.
Now, most definitely to where he got my attention in one final way to where I think that us together, you know what I'm saying, putting together some packages and, you know, as far as content, not even just sit down freestyles, performances, or, you know, just creating an opportunity for him to be great. I think that would be an artist that, for one, has the mindset that I like, the consistency that I like, and the messaging in general. I think that
the sound in general, it sounds good.
Definitely.
Shout out 4200 Corey. I slid in your DM too. So if you want to be on Hit the Stage or the How You Up podcast,
slide down. You got a free one on me. Just one free one, man. No, I'm just playing. Now slide down, man.
I think I said the same thing in the DM too.
No, we gonna make it make sense, man.
But it is exciting because I just realized this is probably in my face the whole time, but it is exciting to see Indianapolis get views. You know, like we said, whether it's him or Big Bro or whatever.
Most definitely.
It's like the bubble is bursting, you know,
tough.
and who knows who's next, you know, but putting all the pieces together, they'll be ready when they do go viral, you know.
Most definitely. Now we doing a great thing in Indianapolis, man, for these last 2 years since 2024, late 2023 up until 2024, really 2024 though. I think that, man, we've really started to establish, you know, some unity, man. A lot of the music to me before that was really more beef music, more like I slid on this person, I slid on that, and
Ops and Glocks,
all that, man. And I think that that's still prominent now, but I think it's more like frowned upon based on platforms like Hit the Stage, because we've established rules like no dissing the dead, no reference or mention to any existing beef, to where we've made positivity a little more cool because y'all can see the benefits of positivity. So that's one of the things that I really want to shed light on, man, making sure that artists in this city understand that killing people and making, you know what I'm saying, music about that, everybody coming from different cloths, and I respect everybody's cloth and I respect your story and your background. But if we want to make it to a bigger market, if we want to be on people's stages and performing in venues and even get the door open to us, we cannot be in a position to where we one-dimensional. We got to be eligible to make a song about, you know, this or that, or, you know, be able to perform in front of a multi-colored crowd or whatever it may be and still have the same impact. If you can only have impact with the people that look just like you, then you more or less going to be with the people that look just like you forever. So if you want to go to bigger and better places, man, that's why y'all see me going out here and running state to state and even breaking even sometimes or taking a loss, because at the end of the day, I'm growing, man. People going to see that later. I plant a little seed of an artist. They're like, man, what is this platform moving? They see it again or whatever. Now I can come back to that city and book out this many artists, whatever it may be, or throw a showcase in that city and feel confident. So,
and the content might not be profitable yet, but in a year, as it all grows, eventually that's gonna pay for it.
Them gonna be my ads that I'm running to where I get more leads for consistent business. So, stuff like that, man, you just gotta trust the process.
You have a big enough platform, you could easily, every video you could hit up a local business to sponsor your video. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So what city is next? What city would you be super excited to go to?
Man, I think that Atlanta, man, I really want to really saturate Atlanta. I think that I went to Atlanta and I seen the potential there based on that being, you know, like when you think about music and opportunities, a lot of people just automatically think of Atlanta.
The Mecca.
And people run to Atlanta. Like, I think out of the 11 artists that I shot with, only one was from Atlanta. And I think that that'd be a good enough grounds to where, without having to run all over the United States of America, I can go to Atlanta and enough people have merged there to where I can create great opportunities and brush shoulders with the biggest creators and still have that respect as far as, you know, being an established platform, because Atlanta is not a joking city as far as music, to where
they have an infrastructure to
even
it.
down to
labels are there, and like people, even the independent artists know there's a certain path you have to follow with the business and how you release stuff. It's not just drop it on DistroKid and the world finds you. You know what I mean?
The momagers down there, they know how to network. They got you know, a real foundation. Like I said, even down to the kids, they pushing that music, and I'm saying they taking it serious. They investing in it to where
making a business out
I
of
want to
it.
really go down there and establish myself. I might even move down there for a few months at a time to where I can, you know, bring that type of knowledge and infrastructure to Indianapolis. Because at the end of the day, Indianapolis is going to be my home base. This is what I want to grow. This is the market that I see, you know what I'm saying, growth in. And if I could establish something to where Atlanta obviously is already a big infrastructure, I create, you know, record label or establish, you know, connections with people like yourself and other studios all around the city. And I have my respect to where when I bring artists or when I do certain things, there can be a mecca or a certain type of, you know what I'm saying, glue. Because this type of studio, my studio, let's say I might have a rinky dink hit the stage studio, whatever it may be, but if I'm bringing somebody big, I should be able to call, you know what I'm saying, anybody in the city, whatever it may be, and have that type of infrastructure. So we just want to, you know, establish more.
And it goes hand in hand because the artists that I record that go to perform their song on your platform, I'm like, good. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Finally,
sure.
people are like marketing it. It's
Nah,
not
real
just
talk.
drop it and get 0 streams and move on. It's
Most
like,
definitely.
you know, like try to get it seen. You know,
Nah,
it's
real
it's
talk.
it's good to see. Uh, were you surprised by the amount of artists in Indianapolis
Oh,
from
yeah.
when you started?
Man, every time a new artist comes on there, I be thinking, where did you come from? Like,
There's
it's
thousands. There's thousands.
Nah, real talk. Like, literally, and that's why I said I don't think that I burnt out on Indianapolis by any means, but I think that I hit so many in such a short time that leaving will give more people room to start to find out about Hit the Stage because they follow other people and certain, you know what I'm saying, networks haven't touched in Indianapolis.
When they see you on a tour in Chicago, you're better for it. The same way an artist in their hometown with their circle of friends,
nah, most definitely.
they got to get out of there to almost get respect.
Nah, real talk.
You know, because they're not even gonna see you as Sicko Boy because they knew you since elementary school.
Nah,
you know what I
most
mean?
definitely.
So it's like, but once you get out there and get that legitimacy, then it's like you're the biggest one in that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing, man. I got a real humbleness about myself to where when people say stuff like that or the biggest platform or anything like that.
I don't know. I'm not saying objective.
Nah,
I'm just saying,
I
like,
feel
in
you.
my opinion,
Nah, most definitely.
I don't know another platform that I would go to as an artist. You
Nah,
know
and
what
me
I'm saying?
neither. Like I said, I'm not saying that to dumb myself down or nothing like that, but I know that there's creators out here right now, I ain't gonna say no names, that have got to that limelight, that have, you know what I'm saying, been working hard behind the scenes and finally got they blow, and they almost bash other creators based on their success by saying, I'm the biggest or I'm the best, or and I hate that because as one of the bigger or more prominent creators, when you say stuff like that, it makes you think like who exactly are the ones you're talking about. And if we a upward growing city of creators and people that's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, getting big and creating industry together, or why will we be biggest or the best, or you know what I'm saying?
It can't be like competition where it's like, oh, he did good, fuck him. You know what I mean? Like he does. It can't.
And it's a lot of egos like that right now in the city. But the ones that's really creating, that's collaborating with other artists and not even artists, just creators in general. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones that I believe that's gonna make it far because we gonna need each other. Like this industry. Hit the Stage can't do it all by myself. Like I'm gonna be establishing
like the
something
music
in the
scene
music.
is more than just one thing.
Come on, we need all type of it's entertainment industry. Entertainment is gonna be the answer. You know what I'm saying? Because we have all the talent. We got a lot of different things in Indianapolis to where if we've been trying to find our big blow as far as, you know, the political side, all type of different markets in Indianapolis, but music, I believe, can be one of the ones that once they start to understand what we are, people will flock here. It's gonna be a mecca for sure.
And it's true for artists too, but especially creators like you're saying, like yourself, you're not in competition with other people. You're in competition with yourself to be consistent, you know, because it's so easy to take a week off or like you feel burnt out of like the, you know, like there are a lot of reasons you could get discouraged possibly, you know, so it's like at the end of the day, you're in competition with your last video. You know, you're just trying to one up that more than you are like worried because you don't know if somebody else paid for ads or like you might see a lot of likes on it and it's totally fake, but it fucked with your head. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It's you can't care.
And
if,
everybody
if anything,
got their
it's
time
good.
too. Like
If somebody in Indianapolis is getting a lot of views, it's a win for you too because you're in it. You know what I'm saying?
Now, everybody got their time. Like I feel like one day it's gonna be a platform based on maybe the inspiration that I give them or something that they seen or whatever it may be. Somebody out here is gonna be way hotter than Hit the Stage, and they gonna have my market, and that's gonna be an understanding that I have now based on the fact that I've done the same thing, but to those bigger platforms, they probably see Hit the Stage now like, let's watch out for this little platform, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it may be. And I could easily be right up there at their shoulders pretty soon and even past them. So it's an understanding that as creators, we all gotta have that you must remain a certain level of humble because there will be somebody bigger than you. You will have to pass that torch eventually. So I look at it to where by the time I have to pass my torch or have to, create room or whatever it may be, I want people to want to get in, the space that I'm in or whatever it may be, to where it's not feeling like they got to compete with all the other creators or we create a network, we creating establishing points to where Indianapolis, we got culture, we got platforms to where that's the biggest thing. If we could break that model where niggas is talking about, when they get a big piece of success that they the biggest, don't be the biggest. If you the biggest, man, be the biggest by pulling everybody together. Or if we the biggest, when you
let the people say it.
Come on, or
if it's really
bring
true,
everybody to an opportunity that's gonna show that you the biggest. Like when you the biggest by yourself, it's just like we looking up there. It's cool, like you the biggest over there. But like when you the biggest because nigga everybody over here standing is we the biggest, that would make more sense to me because if you go, like let's say I'm on tour right now and I'm learning, I'm establishing connections. These connections or these ain't just for me. I'm gonna be putting bigger people on my platform, widening the audience to where by the time that people go reap the benefits with me, or I take this tour bus with artists or whatever it may be, future ideas that I got, we gonna be able to establish, something from this. This ain't just gonna be no big me show type of thing, saying? So
and when you said creator, it's like you are creating your own path, and that's why it's not even competition, because you might be the biggest in what you do,
most definitely,
but everybody has a slightly different lane. Like we're both creators in Indianapolis, but what we do is different. You know what I mean? It's not like we're in competition with each other because we got our own lanes that we're kind of blazing. You know what I mean? It's not about like being the 10th person to do something the same way. It's kind of like what makes you different and go for, go down your own path. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah. So to kind of switch gears, I ask this a lot on the podcast. I know it's a little bit of a weird question, but what do you want your legacy to be? Like say your daughter's watching this 20 years from now, or like just in the kind of just as a person, like what do you want your legacy to be?
I think that, man, me personally, as I said, like who I want to be for a living, that's one thing. I would love to be myself. I want to create freedom within, the lifestyle that we live. But my legacy, man, I think that that's going to be a more of a immersive type of thing as far as people, places, and things. We're going to have a tangible legacy that people can touch, I believe, to where, buildings and careers will be molded by the work and the things that we're doing right now, I believe. So, just really establishing something to where this logo, even if this isn't the final one, something that can live on and create opportunities for the future. Like, if you've ever seen a brand that's having a 100-year anniversary or something like that, I want to have a 100-year anniversary, or I want to have an alumni of artists that it just, create a success, or want to have a big building that establishes artists that, give them skills to
it's
where
like
they can,
bigger than you.
Most definitely. Because if this right here is, everybody got to die. We all going to die one day, to where my lifetime is obviously going to be limited in general. But if I can utilize my soul power and the energy that I'm putting in right now to where my footprint can be longer, that'd be great. That's really all I would ask for, because we're gonna fade one day. So if this can establish to where for a few more centuries that people still understand who was the founder or owner or CEO, or why did Naptown finally get us big blow, or whatever it may be, or whatever the legacy may leave, there's some answers that can trace back to some work that was put in. Feel me?
Yeah. No, that's real. And it's hard to even what you've already done sometimes is easy to miss how much you helped people, or like how happy they were when they saw that view pop too. That's more than what they got. You could that could be, I mean, it could be like the happiest day of their life. You know what I mean? Like, you could literally change somebody's life overnight.
I've seen it
or you give
times.
somebody a job,
somebody motivation and everything. Like, I've seen artists to where when they hit the stage, they didn't know what to expect. They didn't have much confidence in themselves. And then after they hit the stage, they call my phone back so motivated. They asking me for advice.
I'm taking it serious now.
Man, I'm taking it serious, man. I got text messages of people that, send me paragraphs after this opportunity. This people reached out, or different stuff like that, to where, now that's a great feeling. And it's more or less like I do it for, obviously, to make myself and my finances, etc. But this is obviously way bigger than me, to where if it can become and continue to become bigger than me, then that's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, great.
Yeah. That's what keeps it going, because you're not nobody's feeling worse off from, you know what I mean, they're not feeling like, oh, I got fucking scammed, like
Not for sure.
a lot of things out there, you know, like you could pay, not that I'm talking shit or anything, but like Off the Porch or something, you pay $1,500 to perform your song on there, and you get like almost 100 views.
Nah,
You know,
for
like
sure.
I've seen it where it's like, fuck, that was a total waste of money. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Where you're not like, but like you're actually providing value. You know, where it's not like just a hustle thing.
No, most definitely.
Yeah.
And it's all raw and authentic. And by the time we start charging $1,500, that means that we plan on strategically putting $700 into advertisement marketing or a certain level to where you really can get the exposure that you're looking for paying the dollars that you want.
Yeah,
We would never pocket that.
There's nothing wrong with Off the Porch. You know,
Nah.
people have
Just
blown up from
that
it,
model
so
of finances that you're talking about, like different platforms.
charging $500 to open for a show when you know there's not going to be anybody
Most
there
definitely.
is crazy.
Not real talk.
You know, but
Or even if it is somebody there, you know you're not going to give them no type of tangible recap footage or a place to post it to where anybody outside of just in that moment will care about it.
yeah,
A lot of them, they got to bring their own camera, you know what I'm saying, whatever it may be, to where you paying for the opportunity to really make sure I fulfill my back end most of the time. So
yeah. Pause. But yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah. So is there anything we haven't mentioned that you got going on that you know you're excited about?
Man, I touched on it briefly, and I'm not gonna go too far on it because this is like a open-ended conversation where I'm, establishing deals, etc. But I got an opportunity right now where the artists that I work with, man, and just in general, we work with an urban culture artist, and a lot of venues don't accept us. But I think I found us a nice home, and I found a place that has room and opportunity for us to grow. It has plenty of space, multi-venue stages, and even a budget for us to, establish with. So if I can negotiate a good enough connection with this place, this will be somewhere that's going to be a mecca for all to come around, even outside of just, the Midwest. People will start to float in and say, hey, I seen this online. I want to, go check that out. So I think that I found one of my first establishing connections to where within 2 years, Hit the Stage will look like a move that's been going on for 10 plus years. So now if we can, by January 25th, that New Year's, the 2-year anniversary, we'll be announcing some big things to where this will be some growth. There'll be a lot more consistent opportunities for performances. We're going to have a bigger budget to boost these posts up to where we can really scale from 15,000 followers to 100,000 followers within a specific time frame based on actual, strategic marketing. So now we about to go places, man, for sure.
Yeah, that's figuring out that business sense. That is so important, and that's what makes it fun, because you're like, it's exciting to be like, shit, if we do X, Y, Z, shit's gonna happen.
Most
you know.
definitely.
And there's a gap in Indianapolis. Like you said, the actual venues don't give rap artists a look at all.
Nah, they don't like us.
The news doesn't showcase any rappers at all, unless it's like some negative shit.
Most
You know what I mean? Then they're all over the fucking news.
Nah,
You know
real
what I mean?
talk.
But they don't want to legitimize it at all. So it's like, I was talking to Lil Billy last night. His episode will drop before yours or whatever, but he was talking about how he performed at Banker's Life for Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Where it's like, for artists to get looks like that by the actual venues is so rare, because they'll get somebody from out of town, you know what I
Most
mean?
definitely.
But to support the local scene, there's like a gap, so
It's a business for them. That's why we not profitable enough. We don't have enough notoriety or enough ticket sale ability to where even me, myself, I have an understanding to where when I'm looking at booking big venues and shows,
how
if
many
I don't
people
have
can you actually bring in?
if I don't have a headliner that's going to bring these people and get them piled in here. So I think that these big, wigs downtown or whatever it may be, they more or less on the financial tip to where they much rather do a simple old opera show, whatever it may be, or, upscale, different type of culture event to where that would be much more risk-free. It's a business, so they want to be less risk as possible.
Yeah.
And opportunity is for us is, limitless, with that type of thing. But for them, it's just like, that's only opportunity for y'all. We want this green, you know what I'm saying?
But that's the gap you're bridging, because say you get, like you said, an official venue, everything looks more and more better, and you're getting more and more views. Then when those promoters do look at the person's page, they're like, oh shit, 100K views. Maybe we got something. You know what I mean? And like, that's the bridging of it. Cause yeah, I hear it all the time where like artists are like, I'm not going to perform unless they pay me $1,000. It's like,
sure.
you're not bringing anybody out though. So how are they going to pay you $1,000 when you're costing them money? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the business sense as an artist you got to understand too. But it's a balance, you know, because at the same time, the news will showcase, you know, a different style of music, but they won't give a rapper the same look and, you know, invite them on to be like, show us your music. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. But yeah, no,
we got, not to cut you off. If you do remember back when NBA YoungBoy first came out, it was a certain energy that he brought, a certain hunger, his pain. I think that somebody in Indianapolis deep down inside got some hunger and some pain. He might be a little younger right now. He might already be ready to release it, but I think that's what it's going to take. Like, I think that Polo Boy Nunu was like one of the closest ones that I've seen that have that like young potential that, you know what I'm saying, that the city energy, was behind, the energy,
everything,
the look,
the talent,
the entourage, everything. He had it all. And, you know what I'm saying, not to say he lost it or anything, but I think that like that right there, but with a much more focused attention. And now that we got platforms like myself and I got voices to even see that type of, you know, need to dive on it, I can use, you know, my resources to help. I think that's what it's going to take for us. Somebody that's just so hungry. Like, we hungry as artists a lot of times, but we got room, you know what I'm saying? We can do it now, we can do it later, or we can do it for fun, but somebody out there really, really, really want this hard, like badder than they want it, you know what I'm saying? So
and they're getting the reps in too, so it's not an accident. But even like Polo Boy is a good example, and he's one of my favorite artists to work with, you know. He has enough talent to where it's not just one sound. Like, maybe he rapped that way a couple years ago, but like the way he raps now isn't the same as Glock's out. You know what I'm saying? Or like he's switched up where he can do melody and stuff too. Where, and he's a veteran in Indianapolis, but he's the youngest basically veteran in Indianapolis too, because he's still like 21 or something. Like, he just turned 21,
probably 24 at the most, literally.
Yeah, but he seems older than he is because he's around old people. You know, like he's around like the legends in the city and stuff. But it's like he really is still young, where 1 year from now, who the fuck knows? You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Everything could be different, you know?
And that's, when I say that young, and that's why, like I said, I think that his wave, what I'm talking about, he still got 100% potential, true, like you saying. Like, so that's why I say I don't want to discredit him. That feeling or that vision that I see is somebody that's like
out of nowhere, kind of.
Out of nowhere, like 17, 18 years old, that just like catch this random wave, but like got a story to them. They got enough, you know what I'm saying, to get behind. Like, I think that we have demographics here that we can get behind. Like, certain people can get behind certain things, and some things are too dangerous to get behind. Some things are too, you know what I'm saying, one-sided.
Anywhere in the city sometimes, and then it kind of fucks you up too, because then you're not making money like a normal artist would.
So yeah, that person I'm talking about, man, I think that he's coming, and I look forward to meeting him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep the platform out until he comes, or he or she. But I know that they coming, and I know that they're going to make a big wave or big splash on there. So if you are the person that I'm talking about, I look forward to meeting you, man. Keep working. Stay down until you come up. Man, we gonna work, man. Indianapolis, man, we a big market. We just an untapped market. So, man, keep working. Keep doing your thing. I look forward to seeing you and working with you, man, for sure. Yeah.
That's what it is. You know, I appreciate your time, too.
I appreciate you, man.
Is there anything else we
left out?
Shout
out to Studio Drew, man. I just want to say this. Hit the Stage. It's had its first sponsorship through Studio Drew. Actually, we've never had a sponsor. We never had anybody say, here, we want to, you know, give any amount of money. I have, like I said, been trying my best to create opportunities, and a lot of times we just give away our services. We give away free Hit the Stage, free this, free that, but that was the first opportunity where I was able to give an artist that deserved it some money, man. And that young artist, like we said, we really made him feel like an established artist. He came and used that same money to do a Hit the Stage freestyle, a hanging mic. I gave him a good deal on it so he can keep most of his money. I gave him a studio session, and he really was able to take that moment and say, man, I really, you know what I'm saying, was taking this more serious now. So stuff like that, man, I think that you know what I'm saying, you might not have known how you know, affected, but that was really big for me. $317, it could change somebody, you know what I'm saying, a little week for their moment, their life. So now that was big, man. We just appreciate you in general as a platform for, like I said, being our first ever sponsor, Studio Drew. So
I appreciate you too. And we'll do it again. We'll figure some shit out that, you know, just is a win-win.
That's a bet, man.
Yes, sir. I hope to have you back on here, too.
All right, we appreciate your time, man.
Peace. Hopefully it's recording.
Hey,